Hi, my name's Paul, and this is my story. A few summers ago, I had two bosses that were making my life very difficult. I was working in a very busy call center, and both my bosses and their superior were in different cities. It seemed that summer that everything I did was wrong. Almost every day there was something they would nitpick or tear apart. They'd always bring up something. I started to dread every phone call or email I got from them. The company I was with had been shrinking for about the past 5 years. The layoffs were staggering. They were incredible. The company had already shrunk by more than 50%, and it was still shrinking. I could tell by the way these two women were acting that I was being selected for the next layoff. If there was going to be another layoff and someone in our department had to go, I was definitely the candidate. I was a bit frightened. I was worried. I was angry. I felt like I was being picked on unfairly. I was thinking of quitting, but there were very few places I could go, and to be honest, I was paid pretty good money for what I did, and I had no idea who would hire me for even close to what I was getting paid. One day at my desk, for some reason, I remembered, "Bless your enemies." I don't know why, I just did. I also remembered things such as, you get back what you send out. Everything you do comes right back at you. I even remembered once reading something along the lines of, if you send out curses, they come back to you 3 times as strong. Those things stuck in my head for a few weeks. Then one day, for some reason, I decided to try it. I decided to bless my enemies. Who knows, I thought, maybe the blessings will come back. It was worth a shot. So I wrote down both of my bosses' names on a piece of paper that I kept in my little prayer sheet notebook folder. I also added the name of their supervisor because sometimes he made my life difficult too. I also added the names of some other people who were a bit of trouble to work with. Coworkers who had personality issues, the ones that were just more difficult, the ones who did not do their jobs and made everyone else carry their weight. I started out blessing these people somewhat reluctantly. I wasn't enjoying it at all. I was just doing it. Every day I would pick something like the best of happiness, good health, wisdom, closeness with God, appreciation of their families. Whatever I felt like that day I would do. Someday it would be 2 or 3 different things combined, like health, wisdom, and a stronger marriage. Things like that. As the days passed, I even added an old boss that had cheated me in the past. Then it hit me. I'm spending a lot of time blessing people I don't like much. Why not add friends and family? So I added some friends, my family members, and some church members. I put them at the bottom of the list, because the list was intended for my enemies. As for the enemy list itself, anyone I did not like or had bad feelings for immediately qualified for the list. It even included people who had conned me or had stolen from me. Some people I would never see again. I took it a step higher and added some of the company management. I really didn't like some of the decisions they were making, and even felt they were stupid and brain dead. I resented them for laying off some of my coworkers. In a sense, I was angry at them. That's what qualified them for the list. I'd like to tell you it got better real fast, but it didn't. It actually got worse. I was about ready to quit my job and just walk out. It was an extremely difficult time. One side of me started thinking, this stuff doesn't work. This is nonsense. Why am I doing this? What good reason do I have to continue, and what good is coming from it? It obviously didn't seem to be working. But the other side of me decided I would do it just because Jesus said to do it. This was a bit radical for me because I'm not what you would consider a religious freak or a religious zombie. I'm not one of those persons that run around saying, God bless this, God bless that. I'm just a normal person like most of the people that are listening to this. One day I suddenly noticed, though, that it seemed as though my bosses were letting up on me a bit. Or was I just getting over it? Or maybe I was improving my performance. Did they find another target? Did they get bored with me because I don't really react as much anymore? Or did my attitude change? And if my attitude changed, could it be they could feel it? They say when you pray for someone long enough, you can't hate them. They say that your attitude changes. Have you ever noticed how you can always feel that someone doesn't like you? Well, they can feel it when you don't like them too. Maybe that's what was happening. I wasn't sure. Maybe I just wasn't projecting anything negative anymore. Then one day, the boss came in from out of town. I wasn't too thrilled about that. I remembered the one. She was not my direct boss. She was in the room, and suddenly the strangest thing happened. She came over and said hello. That wasn't a big surprise. It's what she did next. She pulled out her iPhone and started showing me her pet pictures. This went on for over 10 minutes. The whole room was shocked. Everyone wondered what had gotten into her. I was beginning to think maybe I had a pretty good idea. That time period was a turning point. Soon after that, the higher-up boss, the guy who could get you fired just for answering the phone wrong, he made me laugh during an instant message on the company's instant message system one day. It was like I suddenly got him. I suddenly understood him. He must have known it. I began to be more relaxed around him. He began to joke around when he called. He no longer seemed to be harassing me, but still, if I needed to be corrected or criticized about my job, he would still do that. But it wasn't like it was before. Then my direct supervisor, the one who made things the most difficult for me, she soon found someone else to pick on. She found someone who hadn't learned yet, someone she could get a negative reaction from, someone she could stir up better. I was no longer any fun to pick on. She also seemed to become nicer as well. In the end, almost everyone I had on that blessing list for my company either got promoted or went on to a better job at another company. Sadly, some had to go through a layoff first, but they quickly found employment at a similar or even better paying job. Now that's quite a feat in this economy. Oh, by the way, when the layoff did come to my department, it wasn't me. But it did happen to be someone that was on my blessing list. He had been going to college and had a degree. He was staying at that job and was miserable. He was too comfortable and too scared to move on. Getting laid off forced him to look. He found another job within 2 weeks at better pay. So I know some of you are asking, okay, I bless people I don't like and they get the better jobs? Why would you do that? How does that work? Well, I'll tell you right now. In the end, after all the months and months of blessing, things got much better. My boss is nicer. My work environment is much better. I have less negative baggage to carry, less bad attitudes. The company is more stable, and I actually enjoy my job now. I guess what I'm trying to say is this blessing stuff really works. It doesn't make much logical sense when you try to think about it, but it does work. It's not easy to pray for people you don't like, but that's what you're supposed to do. And believe me, I think my experience shows why you should. In fact, I'm convinced. I'm sold. Love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who abuse you. And as you wish others would do to you, do so to them. Hatreds do not ever cease in this world by hating, but by love. This is an eternal truth. Overcome anger by love. Overcome evil by good. Overcome the miser by giving. Overcome the liar by truth. You can do this blessing list in just a few minutes every day. The fast-track way to do this is to just write down the names of a few people that you're having trouble with and go over the list every day. That sounds easy enough, but here's where the problem lies. Most people, as soon as things start getting a little bit better, they just quit. Then it isn't long before things are back exactly how they were. I don't know why, but I've seen this happen with several people. I suppose it's like a diet. They start doing things, get some good results, and next thing they're slacking. Before long they quit, and they're back exactly where they were before, and they have to start all over again. So once you get started with your blessing list, you don't want to quit. Now, if you're like me and everyone else, it's going to be easy to find some people you don't like and some people that bother you. Just put their names on the list and start blessing them. And at the bottom of that list, put down some names of the people you really care about. Blessing the people you really care about will help encourage you to bless those other people. It only takes a few minutes every day. We can take this even one step further. One day I started thinking, we all have some ugly problems deep down inside, don't we? Me, I don't like lazy people. I sort of dislike them. I know it's not nice. It's not correct, but I still catch myself doing it. I kind of don't like stupid people. I don't like people who are condescending. I don't like arrogant people. I don't like rude people. I don't like people who are idiots. But when you work in customer service, you get these types of people all the time. Okay, we can even go further. Different religious groups don't seem to like each other very much either. Many Christians, Muslims, Jews, Wiccan, even New Agers, they don't like the other religious groups. We got a lot of hate out there. We got a lot of race issues. We got a lot of homophobic people out there. Maybe you need to bless some of these groups of people. Have you ever considered it? Did I mention any type of group that you don't like? That is where you need to start. Take me. I have to bless the politicians, both parties. I have to bless the bureaucrats. Those two groups really burn me up. I pray for the ignorant and the willingly ignorant, the lazy, the list goes on. I've added my daily callers and our customers. I think you get the idea. If you have problems with any one person or group, it's you who has the problem, not them. Your dislike or hatred for them does not hurt them one bit. You're the one who is getting all burned up, and they're oblivious to you. We all need to quit looking down our noses at certain people we don't like and start blessing them. And don't forget, once you get over people you don't like, they either disappear or for some reason they become much more pleasant to be around. Sometimes they're even fun. Have you ever noticed if you really hate someone, they show up more often and they get on your nerves more? Once you get over them, they seem to go away, or one day you notice that you sort of like that person. I think blessing is the key to fixing a lot of relationship problems. It changes your attitude. I think it's also a key to a lot of personal problems. I hope you consider giving it a try, and I hope it works for you. Bye.